Hey YouTube, what is going on? I am really quite average or Cole if you don't know me, and you can refer to me as whatever you want. I honestly have no problem with it. And before we get started here, I just want to say I hope you guys all had a great 4th of July. I know I definitely did. I got to spend time with some of my closest friends, and that's really how you live it up on the 4th. So anyway, before we get started, I just wanted to say that this is my second ever Overwatch gameplay, and I ended up going 31-6, but in turn it is a little cringeworthy how noobish I am, if that makes sense. So, like, I didn't even understand Tracer's ultimate, but I'm a lot better now, and it was still a decent gameplay, so it holds some significance to me. And yeah, I will have more Overwatch gameplay coming for you guys very soon because I have gotten a lot better. But drop a like if you enjoy the gameplay anyway. Now, I do know that most of you did click the video because the title sounds ridiculous. Like, that shit doesn't just happen to full-blown teenagers. And I'm here to tell you that it's no bullshit and this legitimately happened to me in real life. I got other people who were there with me that could testify for that. So, anyway, first of all, I will not be using any names because this is quite embarrassing to the person it happened to, and it's just quite an embarrassing story in general, and I in no way mean to poke fun to this person. I'm honestly just telling this story for story purposes for my YouTube channel, and odds are nobody's gonna see it that actually knows what happened, but if you do, please don't poke fun at her. This is extremely embarrassing. And to be quite honest with you guys, unnecessary hate is never needed. So anyway, it all started out because we were planning one of my closest friends actually 17th birthday party, which takes place right around St. Patrick's Day. And if any of you don't know, St. Patty's Day tends to be a day in the USA that a lot of people spend drinking. So yes, there was a lot of alcohol there. Now, granted, I don't really drink, so I don't condone the use of alcohol while underage at all, but it plays a large role in this story. So we plan to have a nice little get together at another one of my closest friends' house who has a rooftop helipad smack dab in the middle of downtown LA, which is seriously one of my favorite places to kick back at or just vibe at, or to just spend special occasions together. So it all went down, and a bunch of people came to celebrate my homie's 17th. And this one girl had come, and he had been talking to her for a bit, but they weren't really anything more than friends. They were more like just super close homies, but there had always been a little bit of tension between them. Kind of like good tension, though, if that makes sense. Like they kind of had a little thing for each other. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but when this girl had shown up, she had taken Xanax before she had come to the party. And if you don't know, Xanax is an anti-anxiety drug that literally just makes you feel drunk, but you act abnormally retarded. Like, I'm not making this shit up. Like, Xanax is not something I will ever condone. And, like, from what I've seen, it is definitely not worth it to take it in the first place. Just get drunk when you're 21. You could just wait. Either way, you're, like, fucking up your body, like, at a young age and the growth and everything. But, anyways, you should not drink on Xanax. Let me just say that first and foremost, because it is literally a lethal combination. Like, that shit can kill you. But of course, this girl had also been drinking before she had come to the party, and as soon as she got there, she started drinking like there was no tomorrow. Like, I remember one specific instance where we were all just chilling at the table, and I saw her open up a beer bottle full of vodka and chug like a third of it like it was nothing. Like my friend, the birthday boy, was just like, "Yo, like, what are you doing? That's vodka." And she was like, "I know." And like, I was just thinking in my head, like, if you make it through the night okay, I will be genuinely surprised. Like, I haven't seen people drink that much very often. I don't see people drink that much very often. So all of my homies and I were on the rooftop just vibing and such, and but the birthday boy was nowhere to be found, and neither was this girl. So we had all assumed maybe they were hooking up or something, and all of a sudden I get a call from him, and he says, "Hey, you need to come to the stairwell right now. Like, you need to come fast and alone. It's an emergency." And I was like, "What? What's happening?" He was like, "Dog, just come here, please." And I was like, "All right, dude, I got you. Like, I understand." And I had assumed the worst. I had assumed that the birthday boy had gotten too fucked up and was just puking his guts out in the stairwell, and so I don't handle puke well. If you know me, you know this, but a lot of you do not know me. But I really don't like puking. I just hate the idea of just losing control of your body for a second. It's just so odd to me. I just don't like puking at all. So although I could use the excuse that I don't like puking and I need another person with me, I grabbed the host to come down with me just because he was the one who had everything at stake. So it was mainly the right thing to do, even though I'm squeamish when it comes to puking. So the host and I were rushing down the stairwell because truthfully we were worried about one of our closest friends. And when we got there, he's waiting at the door, and he's literally waiting at the door. We open the stairwell door and he's just waiting there, and he just points at the girl and says, "I have no idea what to do." So it turns out he was hooking up with her in the stairwell. I don't know why in the stairwell, and she was on top of him. And then all of a sudden she started making weird noises, like coming. It sounded like they were coming from deep inside her, like just like hiccups and like weird puke noises. So he like not necessarily threw her off him, but like he got her off him as soon as she could. And it turned out she did end up not being okay. And she ended up just puking all over the place. Now, when we got there, the girl was completely hunched over and not saying words, but rather just hiccuping and vomiting and just looked completely unconscious and out of it. All three of us had no idea what to do at this point. But the host went down because he knew it was the right thing to do, and he held her hair back and tried to help her get everything out of her system. But she was not responding at all to him. Like, she wasn't talking at all. And if he didn't get to her, she would have fallen down the stairs. So props on his part. But she wasn't talking yet. He was like, "Please talk to me. Please say a word to me so I know you're not dead." And she ended up saying a word to him a lot later, but she told us to shut up, and he almost dropped her because of it. It was the funniest thing. I don't know why. She was like, "Shut up." And we're like, "Are you serious? Do you know we're helping you right now?" But she was definitely not okay. You should know that by the fact she was not responding, and she would have fallen down the stairs. So she was in this state for quite a bit, and we all had no idea what to do. So we called the person that she actually came here with, and the person came down to help us out. But she didn't really do much. She kind of just sat there. And side note, the girl who was super fucked up, like puking her guts out, is notorious for going really hard when it comes to partying. So her friend kind of acted like it was no big deal and that this happens a lot, and she would be fine the next morning. Well, we all didn't really see that, honestly. She was really bad, and we all kind of thought she was on the verge of death almost. That is not a joke, guys. We literally thought she might die that night. But regardless, she woke up fine the next morning, just in a hospital bed. So, now I had to be home before the rest of this went down because my parents are decently strict. Not really strict, but you know how it is. But I do have multiple first-hand accounts of what happened the rest of the night. So, just from a lot of my friends and people that were there. So, after I left, she was in the state for another hour or so, honestly, and they had no choice but to call the paramedics for her towards the end because, as you know, we all feared the worst for this girl. And she was leaving a huge mess in the stairway that my friend was about to take all of the heat for. So if this whole fiasco kept up, he would have been fucked either way. So it was the right thing to do. And honestly, guys, I know you guys are afraid to get in trouble. Like, it's a common thing. You're afraid to get in trouble if somebody's just too fucked up and just like they just do not look okay. But honestly, there could be something seriously wrong with them. And the right thing to do is always to just call somebody. Honestly, you need help. If you're underage or if you're even 18, you don't know that much about what's going on. So the right thing to do is always to call somebody. I hate to say it, but the adults that you call will oftentimes be very understanding about the situation because you're looking out for somebody. You don't want them to die, and it's always going to be the right thing to do, in my opinion. So now, as she was in this state, she was so dead and out of it that she literally ended up shitting herself. Yes, I shit you not. She shat her pants. And not even pants, dude. It was so sad. She was wearing a skirt and like panties that could be a borderline thong underneath. So I have first-hand accounts that this was not a pretty sight to see at all. So after this ended up happening, like after she shat on herself, nobody was touching her anymore. And the paramedics ended up coming and helping her out, cleaning her up, and everything turned out okay for her despite the circumstances. I guess her parents must be used to this, used to getting calls like that and shit, but I have no idea. Now, my friend, the birthday boy, never ended up hooking up with her again after that. It's nothing personal to her, but there was just something that should not have happened in that moment, and I can understand why he wouldn't do that. Like that's quite a scarring thing to occur, and yeah. So he just doesn't really talk to her that much anymore, unfortunately, which is kind of actually unfortunate because they were pretty close, and she is a chill girl. And if you were wondering, yes, the host did get in trouble for this. My good friend, the host, ended up not being able to have parties. Not even, I don't think we're allowed to have more than 20 people up on his roof anymore. Because, the adults had to get involved, and his parents weren't actually home. His dad wasn't actually home. So he had to take the heat for it, and now the people in his building kind of have a lower view of him, even though this girl had completely done it to herself. So it just goes to show you, fucking, if you get too fucked up, if somebody gets too fucked up, it can definitely backfire on the host. So you need to be able to handle your shit. You can end up fucking not only yourself over, but like just the person who's hosting the party, even. Because this is like, it's an apartment complex almost, but it's a really nice apartment complex. Like, it's a loft. So he did get in trouble. We weren't even allowed to have parties after this. I don't think we've had a party since. And I think that caps off the story. She ended up being completely fine, and yeah. So if you guys did make it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscription, whatever you want to leave. I really do appreciate it. I'm not lying about that. And if you could, please leave me a like, a comment, a subscription, a critique, just anything to help my channel grow is very much appreciated. I'm really enjoying YouTube right now, to be quite honest with you guys. And this is my first Overwatch gameplay. If you like the gameplay itself, please leave a like or just any sort of feedback. And with that being said, I am really quite average or cool, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.